Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bill Has Opinions. We are, where are we? I had a tagline already and I was not ready. Where every episode is a weird sort of internet review. I'm Laura Lavoie, and I'm joined, as always, by Bill Perkins, who has opinions. Welcome, Bill.
Hey.
How are you today?
I'm doing okay, considering it's been kind of a tough week. Not like a real tough week, like nothing bad happened to me. Just, minor adversity, inconveniences, that kind of thing.
I think it's so interesting now that minor inconveniences can really, we have such a skewed perception of what is an inconvenience right now because we're all dealing with levels of inconvenience we are not used to. So even the smallest thing now can totally set me off.
Yeah, so it's like that. I'm really more put out about a little thing than I ought to be, and so I'm trying to put it in perspective and go, in the scheme of things, I didn't get shot by a cop or, and I'm not choking on my own phlegm in the hospital, so it really isn't a big deal. But, but I was put out.
Understandable. So, to think about something nice and joyful, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking Bell's Oberon today just because I just defaulted to it. I'm in a weird spot today because we're doing this on Wednesday instead of Tuesday, so I don't have my normal spot because they were having a meeting in the Purple Onion, and so I'm in the office for the Purple Onion, which is in a building next door, an adjacent building. They also use this as the green room for musicians when they had musicians back when live music was a thing people did.
Right.
Oh, days.
I miss actually being around other people. So yes,
yeah.
That's hard to say when you're an introvert, but I'm like, I wouldn't mind.
It's to the point where introverts are lonely.
Exactly. I have, for my drinking pleasure, the Prince of Pilsen from Three Taverns.
Nice. It's a pretty can.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's a hoppy pilsner. It's very delicious.
Of a Lowenbrow, honestly, though.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what they're going for. And it's just kind of hoppy pilsner. It's very tasty. I very much enjoy it. Three Taverns is open. Their patio is open now, so we went there yesterday because we didn't do the show yesterday, so we went out to a brewery.
Might as well.
Instead. That's what we did. All right, so today we are talking all about internet reviews. Bill, tell us. We need an intro. We need an overview of internet reviews. Why are we talking about this today?
Because of recent interactions with my wife about internet reviews, but also just, we've talked in the past, it's kind of been an overlap thing with a couple of things we talked about, and so I just really wanted to touch on it as its own topic. We talked in the past about, because we did the episode about beer, and we talked about my beer reviews on Untappd. And
which is very specific. So recap, how do you do that?
My silly rating system where nothing's ever going to be a 5 if that's the top of the scale, because I like to leave leeway for something to blow my mind. And to the same effect, I was just pointing out before the show to Laura that nothing's ever really a 1 either, because even when I don't like something, it's like I leave room for there to be worse failure, to be more disappointed, because you can always be more disappointed. It could always be worse. Anybody who says it can't be worse, somebody was doing that earlier this year. They kept going, well, it can't get any worse. And then the next week they announced some new thing that was horrible. And I'd be like, stop saying that. It can always be worse. It can always be,
It can always be worse. Yeah, I give COVID-19, I give it a 1 out of 10 because, it could be worse, but it kind of sucks. And our friend Heather from Minnesota, we get a solid 10-10 because we're her favorite hosts. Yeah.
That's awesome. But we can be better. You haven't left us a lot of room for improvement. So I want to start off by reading you this review I did on Amazon years and years ago. This was actually, I left this on Amazon back in 2004, okay? And I'm bringing it up because it was one of the funnier reviews I ever left. But my child was 2 years old, and we had gone to the toy store, and there was an item there called Chicken Dance Elmo. And my son Simon saw it, and he liked it at the store. And my mother purchased it for him, and then we brought it home. And then he ceased to like it once he owned it. Apparently, it was entertaining in the store. So here's my review. It's a 2-star review, by the way, even though I didn't like Chicken Dance Elmo. My son saw this in the store and he liked it. And I like the Chicken Dance too, so we brought it home. After the first few days, it became wakes you up squawking at 2 a.m. Elmo. Shortly thereafter, it became no batteries Elmo.
I love it.
I just couldn't take it anymore. The squawking. That's my review.
And you said some people had upvoted your reviews and people found it helpful.
Yeah, at least one person found it helpful. And I think it went to the top for a while when this toy was actually still for sale. This review was always in the top of the reviews because people found it an amusing review. So.
Right. Right. And so there is also, one thing we should mention is that reviewing things on Amazon has become a sport. People will actually review things on purpose. Like, I should have pulled it up. Probably could if I tried hard enough. I probably should. But if anybody has ever seen the Bluebird Nightlight review, so basically it's just a recounting of the lyrics to Birdhouse in Your Soul, and it's pretty funny. Because people just want to do cool things and write things that people want to upvote on Amazon.
Sure. Okay.
Blue Canary, right? That's the one.
Blue Canary. Okay.
Blue Canary. Let me scroll down.
You honestly really need to plug this in the attic by the light switch, don't you? I mean,
it is. Well, yeah, by the Huguenots, for sure. By the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yes, here it is. Here it is. I will share this. Only use as a nightlight. Please, for the love of all that is holy, only use this as directed. Ignored the directions and figured it would make a good lighthouse, and now my beaches are covered in shipwrecks. The countless screams of the Argonauts will forever haunt my dreams. Well, at least they would. I think my cat's trying to get in my office. Yeah, here comes the cat. All right. Well, she's now interrupted. So, the countless screams of Argonauts will forever haunt my dreams. Well, at least they would, but for my friend, my glowing friend who watches over me. Come here, Toast. Come be on the show. Because you're in here now, you might as well come be on the show. So, I think we should take a station break.
Hold on, before you get to that, I'm looking at the same review, and they're in the Q&A. Somebody says, "Is this nightlight bright enough to keep the beaches shipwreck free?" I would hate to kill Jason off and countless screaming Argonauts.
Exactly. Exactly. I've been rescued. The cat is no longer in our show, so she's being rescued.
One of the answers is, nah, it'd be fired if that were its job.
Yeah, no, exactly. It absolutely gets competitive.
Okay.
And I know people who own this object, so it is a real object.
Yeah, I kind of now that you pointed it out, I was unaware of its existence, but now I must have
it. It's in the outlet by the night switch. Yeah, that's the best part, is because it's every review on this. It watches over me perfectly. Yeah. It's just beautiful. But then the people who kind of miss the boat, that are like, they might be Giants fans' childhood wish comes true on Christmas morning. Like, really? Like, at this point, we know that it is a joke. So you don't have to tell me that. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like, I'm glad you bought it and you enjoyed it. So, should we do a station break? Do we have somebody to plug? Do we do the reviews?
Oh, yeah, we should give somebody some online reviews, huh? What do you got? I don't know. I didn't actually line some up this week. I'm sorry to just say.
Well, I want to mention one thing, because we've plugged them before on the show. which is the Gallery Zapow in downtown Asheville.
Yes.
Unfortunate news from Zapow that they are closing their doors July 11th. So if you happen to find yourself in Asheville between now and July 11th, definitely check it out. Things will be marked down. It'll be your last chance to buy things at the store and not directly through the artists. But Lauren, who owns it, is going to be starting a new venture, so hopefully we'll be able to share some details about that once she launches. So I'll give that.
No deal will be refused. Well, it might be refused. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to put words in her mouth.
Well, right. I don't know. I give Zapow a 10 out of 10, and I will be sad that it is gone. So.
Same. Yeah, it was my favorite place to buy art. We actually, I was mentioning before the show started to Laura that we recently hung up our gallery wall as frequently as 2 nights ago in our dining room, which we just finished painting and remodeling. And I would say 90% of our gallery wall came from Zapow. So, we're going to be really sad to see that go as we bought a lot of artwork from there. Basically, Zapow and DragonCon were the only 2 places we bought artwork. So,
yeah, I'm going to do something I don't normally do, and I'm going to show people my art wall up there. Many of those things are from Zapow, but I didn't have the camera in front of it. So it will be very sad to see it go, but I'm excited for her new venture, so we will keep you all updated on that. All right, so I suppose we should just jump in. Do you want to start with Yelp reviews or Amazon reviews?
I want to start with Wish reviews.
Oh, there's a curveball and a good one.
All right, so if you're not familiar with it, Wish is this sort of dumb app website thing that if you're on social media, it does a lot of targeted ads to you, and they're always weird. It's always products that you will click on them to find out what in the hell they are half the time. If it's obvious what they are, it's a sex toy. If it's not obvious what they are, you'll click on it because you'll be like, I don't know what that is. I'm clicking on it to find out what it is, and it'll turn out it's like something for fishing, or it's something to drill your own teeth or some nonsense like that you're like.
Yeah, the at-home dentistry kit was the one that confused me the most. And I will say, I was spending so much time on Wish, and I never bought a single thing. But I was spending so much time on the app that I just deleted it from my phone. So now I can't. I just have to live with the mystery forever when I see something.
You see the now, you just have to go, I don't know what the fuck that is. I never know.
I do not know, and I'm better off for it, I think.
So,
share the reviews, the review concept with us.
Let me finish talking about the concept of Wish. It's a silly app that's got weird shit on it. It's kind of like eBay, but it's called Wish because when you order something off of it, it's like making a wish. It may or may not come true. In my experience, I've received about half of the items I've ever ordered. And if you do order them and they do show up, it will be 6 months from now. By the time it does show up, you'll forget you wished for it. So it's like a pleasant, I bought that thing, I guess, once, That's how it operates anyway. That's the basic idea of Wish. Now, here's the thing about the review system on Wish. You can review items on Wish, and much like Amazon or eBay or anything else, although it's harder to look at reviews on eBay. Mostly you're just reviewing the seller on eBay.
Right.
The items, though, I would say like Amazon, you kind of I would because all this stuff is cheap crap out of China. You really need to read reviews, especially if you're buying a clothing item, right? We've discussed in the past, I think on the cosplay episode, about how tricky buying Chinese clothing can be. And usually you have to size up about 3 sizes. But what I like to do is read the reviews, and it gives me a general idea of what other Americans thought. I ordered a large and it showed up and it kind of fit. Okay, well, so a large is a size I could order then maybe, and it would fit an American. That gives you what I mean? That's helpful. Here's what's not helpful. A lot of the reviews I see, especially for clothing items on Wish, someone gets the item in, they throw it on the bed, and they snap a picture of it, and they say, arrived sooner than I thought, looks okay. Now, I'm like, did you put on that pair of leggings and see how they fit you? Like a pair of leggings in the package on the bed. Yeah, like I don't know what that means. Seems okay. I mean, okay, there's nothing obviously wrong with them, but you haven't yet begun to like stretch your butt into them. So I don't know whether it works or not. Like they could be made for an elf. Who knows? But listen, and I bring this up because I've seen it. Like 90% of the reviews on Wish are like that. Like the item shows up and the person's like, it showed up. I'm happy. And it's like, get it because that's the big deal with Wish is it may never show up. But seriously, like don't review anything the day it shows up. Like use it for a minute. Walk about in it. Wear it at least twice. Wash it between and see if it's still a thing, right? I mean, if it's not, you can come back and say, hey, you know what? I got one wear out of this. It tore up. But on the other hand, I'm out $3. So who really gives a shit? Like that would be, but give me something to go on. This throwing the item on the bed and snapping a picture is that's not a review. So, I have to discount that. I have to scroll through several more reviews to find somebody who says this showed up and it was kind of tight. I'm a size and I bought size that and it didn't work for me, and then you go, okay, well, that actually helps. Thank you. And that's what you got to look for, like not just on Wish, but on Amazon too. You got to learn to read between the lines. It's not a binary. Is this good or bad? But is it good or bad for me or for what your purpose was or whatever, and you got to read these things and see like, this person, like the better people will give you some background. They'll be like, hey, I'm this is my size. I'm built like this. This thing claims to be size this, and it fit me well. Okay, great. If I'm a dude who's like, a size 46 chest and mostly wear mediums in America, and then I read a review by a guy who says he's a 46 chest and mostly wears mediums in America, and he bought a Chinese 2X and it fit well, I'll go, okay, well, that's probably the size I ought to get.
Exactly. But so Heather says, Wish seems like a dangerous proposition. Like, does it implode after a week, a month? I have low expectations. It's true.
In my experience, it's like give it 3 months for your item to show up. And at 3 months, it'll either show up and you'll be pleasantly surprised, or it won't show up. Oh, I got a funny add-on to that, by the way. Sorry. I got kicked off of Wish for a while because I complained because half of my items did not arrive ever. And I gave it ample time. And I mean, like after 6 months, like you're ending you're reaching the end of your disputable period, right? Like with PayPal or whatever. And I'm like, nah, you didn't give me my stuff, so give me my $1 back.
Right. I like that Wish puts you in Wish jail though for complaining that you don't get your stuff. They're like, we never promised you would.
Yeah, no, they didn't get mad about the first 2 or 3, but then I think when I complained about like 6 items, they were like, all right, enough of you. Like you're just a troublemaker, so you're out of here, like, and I'm like, oh, I got it. I'll never complain again. So, I've ordered 2 things since then and have received 1, and I'm waiting on the other still. So we'll see.
Fingers crossed. But and Heather says, I've not had a lot of luck with Chinese clothing. I have to buy a circus tent, and it's a bit tight. Which I will tell you, I have had the same experience. I bought a costume that was a women's extra large, no joke. I got it home. All right, arrived. I put it on, and I couldn't even fit. It wouldn't fit over my head. I sold it in a yard sale to a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
It was a women's extra large. I am not joking. It's something that happened.
I get you. I've had, as you recall, a similar experience because one year I bought a shirt I bought this fancy shirt for a costume, and honestly, I could have bought the same shirt in America with American sizing, but that shirt would have cost me like $80 in America. But it was $10 from China. So I rolled the dice and I bought a 2X because I just figured 2X is probably 2X Chinese. That's about medium American. And it showed up, and I didn't try it on until the night I was going to wear it, and I went to go put it on, and it did not fit me. Thankfully, I was wearing a sport coat with it, and my friends were creative, and they were like, hey, just split the back. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I just split it up the back and wore it with the sport coat over it, and nobody knew. So
nobody would know. Just don't take your sport coat. So speaking of sizes, so there's another phenomenon on Amazon, and I imagine also on Wish. The reviewer who they messed up, so they give the item a 1 or 2 star review, right. And that is, I love that. Like this is for a child's bathing suit. Great suit, but the sizing is small. I ordered a 6 for my daughter who wears a 7, and it was a bit snug. So I'm exchanging it for a 7. Would recommend ordering a size or 2 up. Like, lady, your daughter wears a size 7. What made you think ordering a size 6 was an okay idea?
And this
makes no sense.
It is a common occurrence. And I've had this discussion, I think, probably with Laura before that. I generally read 1-star reviews as not a failure of the thing, but a failure of the person trying to use the thing. Yes. A 1-star review is written by an angry person who's generally angry at the whole world, like because they're an idiot. Let's be honest. You're an idiot who doesn't understand physics and you don't get how things work. And so when anything shows up and it's not really obvious how it works, you get frustrated and then you blame the thing because you can't sort out regular old physics. I think you were telling me about you used to have a bottle opener on the side of your refrigerator.
Yes. Yes.
And you have 1-star reviews because some fool didn't get they mounted the bottle opener upside down and then all the bottle caps wound up on the floor or something like that.
Yes. No, it was great. So this bottle opener, it was a large magnet bottle opener. It had like the, what you would normally mount with screws, like to your bar or whatever, but it was a magnet one with a huge industrial magnet. You stuck it to your fridge and then you just opened, and you did have to be a little careful with it because it wasn't perfect. But somebody said every time they opened it opened it backwards and they would spill all their beer on the floor. I'm like, if it's opening it backwards, you're not using it right. Because it doesn't, the only way to open it backwards is if you put the beer upside down on it and did it this way. And then of course your beer is going to be on the floor.
Right.
So don't do that.
Again, it's usually you that leaves the 1-star review. And like I presume those people just go through the world angry all day because they can't sort anything out because they're just dumb shits who are like, this doesn't work like I expected it to. I don't know what to do with it,
I don't know what it is. So for a while every Christmas, there's these products that are basically just the boxes and they're joke boxes. They're pretty funny. Yeah, they're hilarious. They're like Baby's First Fire, or the pet butler, or the pet bar, where you put the bar on the your pet's back or whatever it was. They're ridiculous. They're completely hilarious, and they are clearly jokes. And I have read so many. They're like, all I got was the box. I'm like, what did you think you were gonna get?
I totally get that. Because I'll tell you, in all honesty, once upon a time, I remember I bought something off of eBay, and it was just a box, and I was put out. But then I went back before I went and left a bad review. I went back and reread what the ad was, and it said just a box, and I realized I just didn't read well. And
right.
And I mean that's the thing. The failure was on me, and I didn't. And then I was like, oh, I guess it's right. I paid $1. Honestly, I paid $1 for what I thought was going to be a Game Boy game, and instead I got an empty box that the Game Boy game came in. And when it showed up, I was put out that it was an empty box, but I went back and read the listing, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, it was a Mega Man box, and it said that. I was just so excited to get Mega Man for $1 that I didn't stop and read And so what are you gonna do? You gonna get mad because you're out $1? I mean, no, it's your failure.
Well, I think a lot of people do get mad that they're the ones that messed up. So they're like, I got to write a review about how badly I messed up because this was dumb.
But all you're doing is advertising to other people out there who are reading it. What an idiot you are! Because any moral person is going to read your review and go, "That guy's just an idiot." Like it's clearly it's a gag box. Look at it. Speaking of, by the way, we bought the one and it was a chores video game. I don't know if you remember that one. It was like virtual chores. I got that one. Actually, in the first Christmas we were together, I got Emily a USB toaster oven box. She was into gadgets. She loves new gadgets. She's always buying new gadgets. Anything new that comes out, she's one of the first adopter people. Whereas I'm like a Luddite, and I'll wait 3 years until they perfect it, and it's right. I'm not going to buy it when it's $400. I'm like, I can live without it. But I got her that box for the USB toaster oven, and I think she was and there was a real gift I put inside of it, obviously. But when she opened it, I think she was equal parts perplexed and pleasantly surprised, and then a little let down when it wasn't that.
So I printed out these notes of just various Amazon reviews, but I just printed it out real fast. So
yeah,
this one is visual, and I actually have to show this to people because this is great. It is great in a picture, and apparently 249 people found that very helpful, but I don't know what it was.
It's just the guy.
I can't stop laughing at it because I just love the whole guy's face.
Yeah,
I don't know what he bought.
He looks like that guy from Spider-Man. The guy who plays I can't remember the actor's name, who played J. Jonah Jameson on Spider-Man.
Yes. J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he looks like J.K. Simmons with a perplexed look. So it's kind of comical.
This one is, and I'm sure this is meant to be funny, but a book, Immortality is Accessible to Everyone, and somebody gave it a 1-star review and wrote, I died, this book doesn't work at all. So I think we also need to talk a little bit about Yelp reviews, because Yelp reviews similarly have become a sport, and people like to, and it's usually people who hate things.
Yes.
Like hate everything. That will go online and give a Yelp review.
It's 90% people who hate things. It's hard to get, as a consumer, it's hard to actually get any real help out of a Yelp review, because the person's just hate reviewing, right? Like most of the time. And I will let me backtrack and give this the caveat that I used to be a person who, younger in my life, I was the person who mostly used reviews for revenge, like a lot of people do. If I had been wronged, I would leave a review, and if I had been righted, I would very seldom say anything about it.
Exactly right.
And I have learned over time not to do that so much. I still do. I do often log on to websites and especially of like chain places. And I don't need a lot of chain places, but I do frequent one chain place on the regular. And when I do, I will say, once every 10 times you order something and you don't get what you ordered, and then you realize it when you're 30 minutes down the road and you go to pull out your item and you're I paid extra to get the thing and I didn't get the anyway. So I'll go to their website and I'll leave them I didn't get my thing, and I will say they usually give me a $5 off coupon or something, which more than rectifies the situation in my opinion. And secondly, I will say that I learned not to be such an ingrate, and so on days when I go to the place and I get exceptionally good service, I also leave a review and say, hey, I went by there this morning, and the manager at the drive-through window had more. He was happier than he had any right to be, being a fast food worker. So I will say that kind of shit too. just to be fair, so I just wanted to say that before we get into this whole thing. But Yelp has it's mostly sour grapes. It's just people who are pissed off about a thing. Sometimes it's personal vendettas, personal axe to grind. Like I don't like the lady who runs that place, so I'm just gonna like put her out of business by leaving shit reviews.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note real quick that Yelp, as a service, is kind of sketchy in what they do too, because it's pay to play. Like if you don't pay Yelp as a business owner, Yelp will, not present your business in the nicest light. And
they're like real nice restaurant you got here. It'd be a damn shame if anybody were to leave a bunch of bad reviews about it.
Exactly. I mean, there have been. And I will post a link later, but there's a documentary about how how bad Yelp is as far as being predatory to businesses that don't pay them. So
as a foodie, I think most of us, people who consider ourselves foodies, have learned that Yelp is bullshit, and we don't look at it anymore because it's of no help to us. It doesn't tell you whether a place is good or bad. It's just a bunch of cretins leaving their shit reviews about nothing and being angry. So why bother with it? But go ahead and read some Yelp reviews if you have to.
Oh, well, yeah. All right. So I only have a couple that I think are worth reviewing. So this one, Yelp has an update function, right? So apparently someone wrote, I must downgrade this to 3 stars after the last bus I was on ran over 2 pedestrians and kept going. I'm really glad you shared that. You did. So this person gave 1 star to a pizza place. Don't try the pizza. It's so good. You will come back every day. It completely ruined my social life because each night I only want to go there. I hate this place. 1 star. Huh. And my particular favorite, which actually decent stars, but for a Chinese buffet. I ate there about 3 hours ago. Now I have diarrhea. As far as Chinese buffets go, this one's pretty good. I think we should just let that one sink in for a minute. No,
I'm not real sure how I feel about it.
I feel some kind of way about that.
I mean,
but yeah. People will. I mean, some are funny. We had a friend who had a fake Yelp profile who would go on it to just shitpost about stuff. So, and she knew what she was doing. I don't think she does it anymore, but she was just shitposting because it was entertaining. So don't believe what you read.
Yeah. So I brought this up because my wife and lately, as we all know, we're dealing with this pandemic, and the restaurants that are open now are open at a limited capacity, and they're doing their darndest to do things a different way than they've ever done it. She's got the kind of place that would normally have 60 tables and be running, at full capacity with 12 servers and that kind of thing. Thank you, by the way. And then
did your cat get into the office too? Bring you a beer?
My wife got into the office with a beer.
Excellent.
Anyway, they would normally be operating, at a larger capacity than they're operating and have more staff, and obviously they'd be doing their job without masks and gloves on and all this other nonsense that they have to do now, and I'm not saying nonsense because I don't believe in it. I'm just saying it's a lot of stuff to go through as a person.
It's a lot of extra stuff.
It's a lot of extra stuff. So if they take an extra minute or two to get your sweet tea out, don't get your panties in a wad, Karen. It's not a personal, like affront to you. It's just how it is right now. You've got one server who's trying to do all these things, and maybe she got your sweet tea together, and she was coming over to the table, and she got halfway there and was like, "Oh crap, I forgot my mask" or something, and they're doing their darndest to try and keep you safe. And whether you believe in the mask thing or not, it's a thing. Actually, our governor, as of this afternoon, I believe, said everybody's wearing a mask.
Yep.
I should probably be wearing a mask for this podcast.
Well, you're not gonna infect me. So
okay, well,
this is the ultimate mask right here, the virtual.
But I'm just saying, like it's a thing you're gonna have to put up with. Things are gonna be a little harder to deal with, and I guess we're all a little testy, as I was saying at the beginning, of the show, little things seem to drive us crazier now than they used to, maybe, due to the fact that we're just already on edge because we're missing social interactions and whatever the hell else. We're tired of being cooped up in our house with our spouse or whatever. But anyway, give people the benefit of the doubt. So, I will say this first off, most of her Yelp reviews since they reopened with the new guidelines and all have been crazy positive. Like it's 90% 5-star reviews, but I guess my wife's tolerance is about here now. She's normally like really non-confrontational, but if you leave her a 2-star review right now, she will get confrontational with you and she will call you out for the fucking idiot you are for leaving a 2-star review because you didn't get sweet tea 5 minutes sooner. You will get called out. You're not getting caught anything. Fuck off with that. She's not calling you. And if you don't come back, oh well. She doesn't have to go for you anyway.
Exactly. I've definitely learned over the years that reviews, you have actual helpful reviews, which people, and you might have funny reviews too, but otherwise you have sour grape reviews, which are, I personally just don't like a thing, so I'm going to rant about it. And then you have idiot reviews, the ones that I don't know how to use a thing or I didn't know how to do a thing, so I'm going to post or I'm going to make a bad review about it.
Right.
And I've learned over the years to kind of, I like we said about the Amazon, I will read the 1-star reviews sometimes a little more carefully than I read the 5-star reviews because I want to find out if it was this person is an idiot or there's something actually wrong with the product or the service or whatever.
The real meat, the real meat is the 2- and 3-star reviews. Those people are the kind of people who've said, okay, here's some things that are wrong with it, but all that being said, I still didn't hate on it. Like I just feel like it could have been better. And that's really where you got to go. The 2- and 3-star reviews, read a couple of those, see what they said, because they're going to give you the ups and the downs. They're going to, and this is the same thing as like reading media, really. You just got to be a discerning reader. You got to learn to read between the lines and say, what was the motivation of the person writing? Those 1-star review people who are sour grapes, it becomes very obvious in the first sentence what their motivation is. It's all vindictive and mean, and there's nothing more to be gained from that, right? Like this isn't going to be helpful to me. This person's just mad. Go to something else. Read the next review, and I mean, yeah. I don't know what I think about 5-star reviews. Those people are too easily pleased, probably.
I will admit I actually tend to do more positive 5-star reviews because I just like to be positive and I like to be thankful and I like to. So I will actually be more likely to review something if I really, really liked it than I am if I didn't.
Well, that's a good point.
But everything is my favorite. Like literally everything. Like you ask me a thing, and if I like it, it'll be my favorite thing at that moment because that's just who I am, and everything's my favorite. Like this beer is currently my favorite. My cat is currently my favorite. That cat tree in the window is currently my favorite. Everything's my favorite. So you can take my reviews with a grain of salt because they're not likely to be helpful. They're just going to be very positive.
Right. Which is why I 5-star reviews as well, because those are people who are overly positive and they didn't review it critically. You want some criticism. You want to know what the downfall of the item or place or whatever it is that we're talking about. You want to know like what could they do better, or what to expect in a way, I guess. Like, okay, so if I was giving you a review of a really good Chicago-style pizza place, maybe, I would say maybe like I'll give it 4 stars. The food is great. Be prepared to wait for a while. I mean, just because it's Chicago style pizza. Don't show up hungry. Do not show up starving because you're gonna wait at least 45 minutes before they bring your pie out.
Right. Well, you're gonna wait 45 minutes for a seat, and then 45 minutes for the pie. And that's actually both are the low end estimate.
Don't go to Uno's. Go to the other one. Yes, of course, if you go to Uno's, you're gonna wait 45 minutes to be seated. That's why you don't go to Uno's. You go to what's the other? Giordano's. You go to Giordano's, seated immediately, and then you just wait 45 minutes for the pie. It's the same shit. It's Chicago style pie. It's all the same. You just go to wherever is convenient.
Well, so a while back, I bought a product on Amazon. It was one of those like draft dodgers, the little things you put in front of doors to keep draft from coming out under the doors. Yes. And it's shaped like a cat because why not? It's cute. But the reason I bought it wasn't to prevent a draft under a door, but in our apartment, we have a utility door that we don't have access to. Like, it's permanently locked and only our apartment people can get into it because it's our like furnace and stuff. So the problem with that is we then acquired a kitten who liked to immediately bat all of the toys directly under that door. All of them. Didn't matter. All of them under the door. We cannot get them. We can't get in there. So I bought this draft dodger, put in front of the door to give a bumper for toys. So I reviewed it and I said I did not buy it for its intended purpose, but it worked absolutely perfectly for what I wanted. And there you go. Like, I can't tell you whether it dodges drafts because that wasn't why we bought it, but it worked perfectly for what we needed to do with it.
I mean, it stands going into the door that'll keep stuff from coming back through the other way.
It does stand to reason. Although then the cat figured out that she could just move it. So I should actually go update. Because it's completely useless now because she just goes over and moves it out of the way and shoves things under the door.
You should have just gone to the Lowe's and bought yourself a board or something to stick there.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to make it easy, but here I am. And I do want to mention I have one other thing. Well, we have a lot of other things. We still have more show for you, so don't tune out now. But I want to mention specifically. Don't go away. We're not done yet. A review site that I want to mention that not everybody is very familiar with, and my connection is going very slowly right now, but not everyone's familiar with is Glassdoor, which is a way to rate an employer. Right. So I have definitely learned. I used to be a recruiter, so I'm very familiar with work situations. I have definitely learned that nobody rates an employer that they enjoyed working with. Not a single person goes on Glassdoor to say, loved this company, best company it ever worked for. All of them are shitty. So it's hard to gauge, like when you're going to apply to something and you want to check out Glassdoor to see what the reviews are, it's hard to gauge if that's truly a problem, like if it's got a culture of just badness, or if it's a bunch of people quit because they were not good at what they did, and so they left, or they got fired.
Yeah. Actually, the current job I'm working at, I went to Glassdoor to look, I didn't really. I don't look at Glassdoor because I wrote it off a couple years ago. My wife always asks me to look at it after I, take an interview or something. She's like, "Did you look at Glassdoor?" And I'm like, because I feel like it's crap. I feel about it the way she feels about Yelp, and so I'm like, I don't really care. I mean, I'm pretty good at sussing out how I feel about a thing. I ask pertinent questions in the interview process. I'm like, I'm good. But after I took the job, I went and looked at Glassdoor and actually found it was really a sour grapes. It was just this guy belly aching because he got passed over for a promotion that actually my boss got. So he's mad because my boss got whatever job he wanted.
Exactly.
And I'm not mad about it because he might not have hired me. So whatever.
Exactly. So it worked out for you in the end. All right. So I do want to. We are getting close to the end. So I do want to bring up. Let me pull up some stuff because we have visual aids for this last segment. Well, not the last segment. The last show. The last pertinent segment. So, and I wrote this down. A while back, an artist by the name of Amber Scher from Raleigh, North Carolina, took Yelp reviews of U.S. attractions, like national parks specifically, and made posters out of them. Because apparently people will go to national parks and then write Yelp reviews as if somehow that national park can solve that problem because of the park. But some of them are so freaking funny. So I want to share a few. And I hope some people did our homework because we posted the whole Josh Groban sings Yelp reviews of British attractions, and we posted it yesterday, and it's beautiful. So I hope people did their homework because it's hilarious. But these are the ones. So let's start with this one because it's the first one here. Here we go. So there are bugs, and they will bite you on your face. That's Sequoia National Park. Pretty you're in the woods, you're going to get some bugs.
That's pertinent information, really. I mean, I got to say,
pertinent.
Nice to know. If I ever go there,
are you going to go to a forest in California and not think that there are bugs?
I mean,
and then
they're not specific. I mean, I would expect mosquitoes, but if they're talking like biting flies or something, I don't need that grief. And it would be nice to know ahead of time. And I might put some off. I don't like sunscreen and bug spray because they're greasy, and I don't like spraying shit on my. So I generally like if I go somewhere, I just get bit or get sunburned. Because, I don't want to deal with the grease. But if it's biting flies, I'll grease up. Those are terrible.
Fair enough. So this one is a particular favorite of mine. Nothing specific to do is Great Smoky National Park. Yeah. Because that's, of course, where we live. Yeah. And obviously, I find that there's plenty to do in the Smoky Mountains, seeing as I live there. Nothing specific. And I'm pretty sure the trees block the view, and there are too many gray rocks. Is for the Grand Tetons, which are mountains. So. Yeah.
I don't know what this person was looking for exactly. Like, did they go to the wrong place?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I meant to go to the mall, but I wound up here.
Well, and why, like, should someone cut down those trees? I'm not sure what you're supposed to do with them. All right. Yeah. And this one, Bill, I put up just for you specifically. This is the Grand Canyon, of course. A hole, a very, very large hole.
That's true. It's so true.
But would you have Yelp reviewed that? Because who's going to say, "Oh, I will fix that for you"?
No, I did. I've told you before. I personally did not enjoy the Grand Canyon. I felt this way about it, but I don't usually. Yeah, I don't really leave Yelp reviews about tourist attractions per se. I mean, I feel like it is what it is, right? Like you're going to get out of it what you're going to get out of it, and there's no. I don't know. I don't get the point in belly aching about that. I don't know.
Exactly. Like, why would you bother? This is Arches National Park, and it looks nothing like the license plate.
Yeah.
That was an honest to God Yelp review of Arches National Park. I mean, like, really, are you expecting it to look like I don't understand. Yeah. And one more
I feel that way about y'all.
Right? So all I saw was a lake, mountains, and some trees. And considering you're at a national park where there are lakes, mountains, and trees, I'm actually hopeful that that's all you saw.
Yeah.
What were you expecting?
I don't know. That's kind of funny. I feel like most of these were written by people who got dragged to some outdoor thing and aren't really into the outdoors. You remember that Pete Yorn song about I lied about being the outdoor type?
Right. Yeah. So I do have to say, if you're the kind of person that wants to Yelp review something like a national park, just stop yourself and ask yourself why.
Does anyone care?
Yeah, no one cares. Write it in your own blog. It's fine if you don't like the Grand Canyon. That's totally up to you. But just write it in your blog or maybe on your Facebook page. But you do not need to put that on Yelp because I do not understand how that's helpful for anyone.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
All right. Normally, oh, you have something else, Bill?
No.
All right. We're good. Normally, at this point, would be our mailbag segment. But last week's breakfast, we got shit tons of mailbag, but nobody sent us anything. So, folks, send us your internet reviews. Tell us what you think about Bill Has Opinions. What you think about us beyond that we're your favorite hosts, because I know we are, but
yeah,
we want to hear more.
But you're welcome to say other things. You can talk shit about us if you want to. You can sour grapes.
You are it's okay.
I would love to hear that. Actually, I would love somebody just to lay into how bad this podcast is.
Fair enough. I haven't seen any real comments on YouTube, and I'm really hoping at some point we get some. So
I know. I really thought when we went to YouTube we would get the hate, but it's been a few weeks and I haven't really seen any.
Nothing.
I've seen
people are just
this much love, no hate.
So it's good to know that we are, and I do not know in which order, 3rd and 7th favorite.
Okay.
I actually think I'm the 3rd because I think I know what the first 2 favorites are of one Mr. Matthew Belitzis. So I'm pretty sure I'm the 3rd.
Is that what you're his 3rd favorite person or 3rd favorite podcast?
I think I'm his favorite person, to be honest.
Okay.
I think that's the truth.
Okay.
And not even really person. I'm pretty sure I'm his 3rd favorite being, and that both of the cats that we've shared our lives with are his top 2.
Okay.
So, I'm going with that.
Person. That's good.
And if our cats hosted a podcast, and he tells me to keep thinking that, so excellent. So thank you for that review. I'm glad to know. All right, so Bill, do we have things that are extra this week?
I had something earlier today, and now I've had enough beers where I've forgotten about it.
You have to write them down.
I know. It was somewhat. It was somewhat related to this, but not quite. God damn, what was it?
The last time you did this, somebody said the word beagle, and it prompted you. So
beagles. No, it wasn't dog related at all, though. I don't know, man. I know something's extra. There's always something extra with me. It was something I remember when I thought about it earlier today. I was like, I can't believe I haven't talked about that yet. Because it's something I've brought up. I bring up in conversations, but now why?
You brought it up.
I've brought it up.
You could do that. You brought something up because that's something extra
in conversation. Now I can't recall what.
Yeah, alas, you have been enforced a penalty. No soup for you 3 weeks.
I don't really like soup. I will eat 1 or 2 soups, but mostly soup I feel like I'm settling for. It's like unless it's a cold, rainy day, in which case then I like soup. But it's very it's weather related to me. So yeah, I don't know. I don't love soup.
I am 100% with you. Maybe it's with the whole wet food situation. Because I only like soup in very certain situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If I'm sick, I really want soup.
Yep.
If it's really cold out, I really want soup. Yep. Otherwise, I don't really want soup.
Same. Exactly. Like I eat the heck out of some Tom Yum soup if I've got like a bad sinus infection or something. That's like the perfect thing for it. And I like soup. Like I said, on a cold, rainy day, I like either vegetable soup or maybe I'm trying to think what other soups I actually even like. Not crazy about soup, gotta say.
Yeah, no, I pretty much only like, if I'm eating soup at home, the only kind I like is chicken noodle. And like I will literally buy like the condensed Campbell's chicken noodle. I don't need any other kind of soup.
Right? Into the pot.
I will add the water. I will add the water. But if I'm
I used to love curly noodle soup, but I wouldn't thin it out. I would just like gloop. And
so it was stew.
Yeah, and it was super salty. Now, stew is a little slightly preferable to soup. I guess this is our things that are extra today. Is we're going to talk about soup for a second.
We are. We're just going to take a minute to talk about soup for a second. Yes, I agree. Stew is 100%. I love stew. Like I make a homemade stew. I love stew.
You know what's even better? What's even better? Pot pie, which is essentially a stew in a pie crust.
With crust, right?
With crust, which makes it that much better. It amplifies it. Boom! Like now we're talking. Also, I gotta back that up. Since I like pot pie, but I also like the bread bowl with some stew or some chili or something like that inside of it. That's good too. You go to the Ren Fair. If you go to the Ren Fair, you usually wind up with a bread bowl full of some sort of stew because.
Yes, I'll do that. And honestly, I'll go with like the cheese soup. Because that's not soup. It's like fondue. Like it stopped being soup. It's just cheese. So absolutely. I'm totally down with that. Totally down with that.
Broccoli cheddar is pretty much fondue also.
Yeah, absolutely. Broccoli cheddar for sure. And so when I'm sick though, the single kind of soup I crave when I'm sick is really good wonton soup. Like takeout wonton soup. Like I can't even make it. I need someone to bring me wonton soup. Because that's all I want when I'm sick. So just so everybody knows.
Wonton's my second choice if I'm sick. The first one would be the yum. What did I say? Yum. What is it? Tom Yum. Yes. Sweet and sour, or sweet and spicy, or whatever the hell from the top.
Yeah, hot and sour. Yeah, I made egg drop soup recently, and it was actually really good. Like I wouldn't normally. I made it from scratch, and it was. I wouldn't normally do that, but it was really good.
Okay, most Asian soups are preferable to other soups.
I agree.
That's the long and short of it. And then after that, you want stew.
Yeah, that is. You are 100% correct. Because when I go get sushi in the winter, because in the summer I do not do this, but in the winter if I go get sushi, I have to have the miso soup. But but only in the winter because it's comfort at that point.
That's where it's good. Yeah, exactly. Like soup. That's the thing. Most of the time we go anywhere, and if it's not freezing cold outside, soup is it's hot liquid. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like it's not. It's gonna make me like hot, and I don't want it. You know.
Right. But I could drink tea instead of that. It would have the same general effect.
When it's cold, or if I'm cold, then I'm like, soup's good now. You know?
Exactly. Exactly. So yes, that was definitely extra, and I love it. All right, that's it. That's it for our show today. So for this special Wednesday edition, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us.
Yeah. Sorry, next week we'll be back on our normal schedule at Tuesday at 6. So be sure to tune in then at the regular time, so you don't.
Like just a tiny little teaser. Just gonna say this. We're gonna try to make this happen. I'm about to head back to North Carolina for the next 6 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna try to do like a real in-person show where we're not.
Yeah, we want to do at least one show where we're both sitting in the same spot at the same time, so that you guys got that to look forward to in the next couple weeks.
We don't know when. It'll be a surprise.
Yeah, boom! It'll just happen.
Yay! All right.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Okay, so this show here is it's produced and engineered by Laura Lavoie, and the opinions expressed by Bill are those of Bill and Bill alone, and the ones expressed by Laura are hers alone, except for the ones they not in agreement to, in which case they share those. But then none of them reflect on any of the non-sponsors that we might have mentioned in except for Wish. I mean, that Wish probably shares our opinions, I guess. Who knows?
It makes sense. All right. And like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, share with your friends, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.